Hello. So, for my Explore section, the students will participate in a guided inquiry. So, they'll get some sandstone rocks. These are obviously not sandstone, but we can pretend. So, the rocks that the students will get will be kind of jagged and they'll have a lot of nooks and crannies. So, students will be challenged in their groups to make these stones as smooth as they possibly can. And these are the only materials they'll get to begin with. So students will probably rub them together to see what happens. And when they do that, they'll see that the rocks kind of fall apart and they kind of create a pile of sand where they're falling apart. And so after a few minutes of students exploring with that, they'll also get a 2-liter bottle and some water. So obviously I'm not going to tell the students to do this, but eventually some of them will probably add the water to the 2-liter bottle. Just like this. And the bottle doesn't need to be completely full. Just about that much is fine. And the students will also probably add the rocks to the bottle and screw the lid on and shake it. Okay. So when they do that, what's going to happen is the rocks will hit each other and they'll break up into smaller pieces, and all of those jagged ends and those nooks and crannies will get knocked off. So there will be some sediment at the bottom of the bottle and the rocks inside will be nice and smooth. So we can use that to start a discussion about where sediment comes from and how different kinds of rocks form. And so for my elaborate section, that's going to be an open inquiry. So the materials that the students get will be a stream table, as well as different kinds of sediments. So they'll get some soil, sand, and some clay. They'll also get different things that they can put in the sediments, like they'll get some rocks and they'll get like maybe plastic buildings or some plants that they can add to the sediments to prevent it from eroding as quickly. So to help students generate questions, there will be a PowerPoint slide with pictures of erosion on it, and I'll ask the students what questions they have about those pictures and what questions they have about erosion in general. I'm also going to use the 4-question strategy. So, for example, some questions that the students might come up with are, how quickly do different kinds of sediments erode, and what's the best to use in a residential area to prevent things like landslides? So to answer any of these questions, students will have to explain what they're manipulating in their experiment, as well as how they're going to measure the effects of that. So for example, if they were going to try to find out which materials erode more quickly, they would get enough of these to fill a stream table, and they would pour water over it and measure the effects of how quickly they erode. And how they do that is up to the students. Yeah, and that is it. Thank you.